Howdy, I'm Sean. I'm here with Geno. We're going to talk about wrestling. It's Cageside Live, everybody. We're a day late. We had Night of Champions.
And $1 short.
And $1, well, perpetually $1 short. So
Oh,
we're here. We're here to talk. I didn't even mean it that way. I wasn't trying.
He's going to complain about his pay again.
I know. That's my gimmick.
You know what? That was my gimmick at my old at MMA Mania. That's my boss used to call me Geno Mo Money Morasco because I'd always be complaining.
It's the number two's gimmick. That's what you got to do. You got to bitch about it.
That's what you do, man. When you know you're bringing in the hits, you go to him and you go, "Hey, just saying, we're setting records. That wasn't happening when I wasn't here. Know your value and all that stuff." What's up, Sean?
Not much, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm hanging in there.
So it's definitely you tweeting everything that everyone doesn't like from the Cageside account, and it's me tweeting everything everyone does like, right?
That is absolutely true, yes.
That's the case now. Got it. Cool.
Mm-hmm. If anybody has any doubt about that, if you disagree with it, it came from Sean. If you agree with it, it came from Geno.
And if it's overly positive, it's absolutely Bill.
Yes, that's true.
It's everybody doing it now. It's not just me because I just couldn't. I can no longer deal with everything that comes with just running, just me all the time. So it's what you do when you get this big and you get to be at a point like this. You make other people do shit. So that's the joys.
Yeah, and it's an easy to understand progression. If it's like angry as hell, it's Geno. If it's sitting on the fence, afraid to make a decision, it's me. And if it's Total Divas is the greatest show you've ever watched, then it's Bill.
Yeah, but I like Total Divas too, though. I think it's cool.
I still refuse to watch it, so I don't know. I might like it if I did. But.
We were talking about this off the air. We actually think it's pretty cool now that people aren't going to know who it is. When before it was like it was so easy. I'm too confrontational is the problem. I'll admit that on the air, that I'm just not. There's a lot of I don't even like the word the keyboard warriors, but there's a lot of people. Yeah, I don't like this idea of people saying things to me that I know they wouldn't say if they were in front of me, and they're never going to be in front of me. And I don't know. Not that I would, just like I'm not going CM Punk and being like they'd never say it to my face because I'd fucking rip their neck off and shit down their throat. Like I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't like there's the basic human decency that you get. No one's going to be in my face telling me they're going to shoot me with a bow and arrow in my gobble turkey ass. You know
whatever
what I mean?
That means.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck that means.
Probably because that person's like 13 years old or something, I'm sure.
I hope so. I hope they grow out of it. Yeah, Geno's a man of passion, as we heard on the Night of Champions podcast. So.
It's simultaneously my biggest strength and my greatest weakness.
Most people's greatest strengths simultaneously are their greatest weaknesses, I think. So.
Ooh, that's thought-provoking, Sean.
I know.
You told me how many views that show had, and I was like, oh, God.
Yeah, it keeps going up. It's viral. You're almost viral.
That's how many people are listening to me just lose my shit over wrestling.
You're as close as we've come to going viral.
I don't want to be. I don't want it. I'm scared of fame, Sean.
I don't blame you.
I don't like the little bit of fame we do have. And I was telling Sean, there are people on the website, and I love these people, like Lady Black, Lep Saxon, Mrs. Black, Drew Nicholas, and these people are probably going to at least partially go, oh my God, he said my screen name on the air or whatever. Like for you guys, I'm like, we're just dudes. You know what I mean? Like with me and Sean, and it's like, please don't think anything more than us as just someone that you would bump into on the street. Like I'm not wearing pants right now. Sean's not wearing pants right now. So this is just what we're doing. Right? Mm-hmm. We're nothing. Okay. So just don't think that stuff.
Yep.
We don't want to be in any way famous.
I got to go to work after this. Just like I'm the working man, like Steve Austin. So
swig of water.
Swig of Diet Coke for the working man. If you want this job, all you have to do is just basically give up all of your free time.
Yes.
Sit at the computer and try to find like witty things to say about wrestling.
Yeah.
6 to 8 times a day.
Moderated community.
Yeah, that did when I started. That wasn't part of the gig, but it is now. We're too damn big. Stop reading Cageside seats, everybody.
Shut up! Don't say that. That's how we get paid, dude. I actually, yeah. No, yeah. So But
All right.
we'll talk about Raw now.
Keep reading. All right. So we had a Raw that I don't know was pretty okay. I guess I don't know. It was
okay. He says.
That's my greatest strength and my greatest weakness. I'm totally even keel all the time, and sometimes people are like, "Fucking react to something," and I'm like, "It was okay."
That's part of why we needed Sean on Twitter. And Bill, too. Bill's super positive. Sean's got an even head, and I'm just ready to fucking like a bull in a china shop kind of thing.
When you love stuff, you love stuff, too. It's not all hate.
Right.
You're a man of passions.
But even then, I think that's what it was, too. Like, I went crazy for the Sting stuff. And people were attacking me for that, for just being really into it. And it's just like, yeah, I can't win, A, and B, like, I got to just stay out of the mentions, and I just can't deal with, again, I don't know how people are famous. I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't deal with that kind of, because again, I'm too confident. I'm too ready to, let's do this. I will fight you. Like, not even necessarily fisticuffs, but just like, I want to take everybody head on. Like, let's just deal with the shit. Get over it. But I thought Raw I actually agree with you. I mean, it was not like, it wasn't a great show. It wasn't an awful show. It is indicative of the larger problem WWE has right now, which is they don't know how to create stars anymore. Or if they do know, they just don't do it.
They choose not to, yeah.
As Dave Meltzer put it, we are in the mid-card era where everyone feels like they could be a star. It's a deep roster.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone feels like they could be a star, but no one is. Everyone's like the guy. How many guys do you think they have right now where you could see them working a main event and you'd buy it, but you'd buy it in the sense that you'd oh, okay, they belong there, but not buy it in the sense that this is a big deal. How many? Damn near half the roster.
Yeah, I mean, I was off the top of my head, I'd say 10, and that's probably too low.
Yeah, you're looking at Rollins, Cena, Reigns, Ambrose, Cesaro. Even the Mark Henrys of the world could come back, and with a brief run where a couple guys put him over, they could put him in a main event. They've done that. They did that with the retirement angle, which was outstanding. And the match he had with Cena, I believe it was Money in the Bank, outstanding. Even Ryback, Big Show, Kane. I mean, they have a lot of guys that they can put in the main event. The problem is here's the main event. United Champions was Seth Rollins and Sting. What was the main event of SummerSlam? Brock Lesnar and Undertaker. What was the main event of Hell in a Cell? Brock Lesnar and Undertaker. These are not. You cannot sustain this. I mean, where does the company go from here?
I don't know. I mean, that's if Cena leaves, that's we were talking to Greenfield, and he was like, if his Hollywood career takes off, they've got nobody. He's their fallback for everything. Yeah,
and the ratings are abysmal. I mean, we're to a point now where they're going to panic, right? I mean, as much as people go, well, and we saw some of this when we did the ratings, or I did the ratings yesterday, and people are like, well, why do we care? This is useless information. I said, trust me, it's not. Because A, it's a television show, so the ratings matter, just for the simple fact that it's a television show. I understand that it's been around for a long time, and it's in no danger of being canceled. They just re-upped with NBC Universal. And, certainly they could probably go a lot lower, and it still would be in no danger. WWE's not going anywhere. We're not doom and gloom where they're fucked. I mean, even TNA is figuring out how to stay afloat right now. But they care about ratings. What's that?
TNA's a cockroach. It'll never die at this point. I'm convinced it'll exist as I don't even know. It's a public access television show or something. Dixie will find a way.
Yeah. But WWE's in no danger, certainly, of going anywhere. But at the same time, why should you care about the ratings? Why is it not useless information? It's because they care. It's because Vince McMahon cares a great deal about the ratings. And we're looking at a situation where they had a lower audience, for Raw this week, the night after a pay-per-view show. What was actually a pretty major pay-per-view show as far as that 500,000 Google searches, which is up from normal levels. for B shows. I mean, it's not as high as the really big shows. Like, it'd be $2 million for WrestleMania or $1 million for $1.5 million for the Royal Rumble or so. But 500,000 for a B show is pretty good. And we did really good numbers that night.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed there was interest. I mean, the Sting injury, even though they didn't, there was the mix up with, they had said somewhere, Facebook, I think, that Sting was going to kick off the show with an announcement. And that was originally the plan. And maybe it got out that was the plan, and they didn't cancel it beforehand, or maybe they even wanted it to get out so people would tune in and think that was the case. And then Bray Wyatt just showed up. And you tweeted, Sting's gained some weight, which made me laugh way too much. Way too much. And people probably thought that was me. And no, that was Sean. Yeah, and so to do that, but there's all this, it seemed like there was interest where you had a reality angle. It's not an angle, but it's just a reality of the situation with Sting being hurt and his career might be over. So there's a lot going on there, and they barely even acknowledge that. They didn't say anything about it at all on the show itself.
Nope.
And the show still, with coming out of the pay-per-view, did lower numbers and went down throughout all 3 hours. 1, 2, 3 less as they went along than the show before it going into Night of Champions. Now, that's a big problem. And the Monday Night Football game was Jets-Colts.
It was one of the worst Monday Night Football games ever.
It was a bad game. It did like 12.4 million viewers.
People weren't tuning into that because they wanted to see good football. If they were tuning into that, it was because they were tired of whatever Raw was offering.
Well, it's also, as Meltzer brought up at the Observer, it's the New York market. So, I mean, that's the home market, and that's always going to be a big thing. And, I mean, I don't know about Indianapolis, but Andrew Luck, and it's still early and, whatever. But that's the new reality that they have to deal with now, is that football season is back. It's going to take a lot of viewers away. I mean, next week's Green Bay, Kansas City. So I don't understand how they believe it's a good idea to run with coming out of a Sting, Seth Rollins program that did nothing to change viewership or turn things around. Sean, why is it a good idea to go with Kane?
I mean, I think there's an interesting.
That's WWE fandom in 2015, is what you
exactly. It's just a big sigh.
Yes.
The problem is, ratings do matter. They don't mean as much as they used to because there's other metrics, and WWE looks at all of those things. But it does matter, and to change the course of the ratings metrics, I think they gotta. It's a bigger picture problem. They can't just decide to put Kane on or just bring Sting out. They're not going to pop a number with some sort of gimmick surprise. They've got to commit to telling a different kind of story and building some new stars, and they're not willing to do that. So they're stuck in this cycle. I mean,
what do you mean when you say tell a different kind of story?
Well, not even a different story, but just, I mean, they've got to commit to. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example. I mean, the Daniel Bryan story was good, but they sort of accidentally told that one. I don't know, something long form that I don't know, change some characters, evolve some things. I'm not sure exactly what they need to do, but they're just booking from pay-per-view to pay-per-view. Like you said, I mean, just bringing out the latest old guy to face Rollins, and that ends up not changing anything. We don't have any. Nobody buys Seth Rollins as an all-time great the way they're trying to sell him.
No.
And yeah.
And now here's this is worth bringing up, and this doesn't have to do with Raw. It's kind of Night of Champions, but it does have to do with Rollins. And I liked my title for Raw, or what, I don't know if it was Night of Champions or one of the recaps, or he's the future who cannot escape the past. He's the guy, but it's Sting, and now it's Kane, and whatever. So Rollins, one thing that he has going for him, unquestionably, is one of the best workers to come through WWE in some time, as far as wrestling is concerned, right? There are issues, right? Like he's a babyface wrestler who's a heel. The flippy shit, that's babyface stuff. But now, where do you come down on the he's dangerous thing? Because here's the thing. You broke John Cena's nose. Inexcusable. That is unacceptable in every way, shape, and form. If you can't do a move like, you shouldn't be doing it, because Bret Hart here. I'm a Bret Hart guy. I like Bret Hart. I was always a Shawn Michaels guy, I guess, if we're doing that. But I love Bret Hart. And like you said, you cannot say you're great in the ring if shit like that happens. The object is not to hurt your opponent, and he destroyed that man's nose. That's not cool at all. Well, now it hasn't been that long later, and Sting's entire career might be done. I understand he's 56 years old. I understand that it's match layout and whatever and whatnot, but correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't the heel usually call the match?
Mm-hmm.
He's the one who's deciding this. You got to protect him. It's a 56-year-old man. I understand he's in shape, but he's a 56-year-old man. You're wrestling a 56-year-old. I keep saying this because it's the most relevant thing. You're putting him. They're doing the spot where he's fucking getting pushed through the Spanish announce table. What's the point of that?
I don't know.
Yeah, and he's doing the flying cross body off the top rope. It's like Sting was trying really hard, but you got to get out of your own way. Or you got to step in and be like, we don't need to do this. In a match like that, you'd think the reality would be Rollins doing those things. If we're gonna get this fucking thing over, I'll do it. Because I can do it. Because I'm a 29-year-old dude who is no one's in better shape than Seth Rollins.
No.
So let me handle it. You're fucking old. You're ancient, dude. And now they do the buckle bomb. It's ugly. It's just one of the scariest things I've seen. I didn't even notice it to a huge degree during the actual show, but watching the replay, his legs just completely fail.
Oh yeah, he can't. Yeah,
that's terrifying.
He can't feel the right side of his body, I don't think.
And it did sound like I heard, and then people confused me because I thought I heard him say, "That's my bad" or something like that. And then
my thing with that video is, this is probably, you like psychology. I was a psych minor.
Love it.
Whatever I read before I listened to it, when I heard it, when I played it back, then I heard what I had just read. So if I just read somebody said "that's my bad" when I played it, I was sure that was what it was. And if I read somebody say "clothesline me," when I played it back, I was sure that was what it was.
Now. Yeah. Now that's what I hear. I'd love someone to ask Rollins and find out.
I mean, go to go to somebody who has no skin in the game. Maybe I'll ask my wife. Just listen to this, and what do you hear?
Yeah, just what do you think Rollins says, and don't suggest anything before.
Exactly. And I won't don't even explain the situation.
But you can also see, even if he does say "clothesline me," you can see as soon as he does the buckle bomb,
he goes to like put his hands on his head, like he knows something went wrong.
Yeah, he looks like he sees it, and his whole body gets real tense, and he's like, "Oh shit!" Like the way you would react, like that's not at all how that was supposed to. He landed way too high, and again, his entire body failed him. And we don't know what the injury is. It could be a spinal issue. His neck's not broken, according to reports, TMZ Sports, and various things we've seen. That he doesn't have a fracture in his neck, but there's a neck issue, which again, the latest rumors are maybe there's a spinal issue. And so to circle back, what do you think? I mean, how do you feel about Rollins now? And that's two guys who very serious injuries in matches with Seth Rollins as a direct result of something Seth Rollins did.
I mean, my usual default on these, and we had this discussion on the Samoa Joe Tyson Kidd thing too, is that this is, I have never even attempted to do anything other than like goof around in the backyard with my younger brother or something. So I don't know what it takes to do this. It's inherently dangerous. They're basically doing stunts all night, every night. And so many little things can go wrong that can fuck somebody up. I'm hesitant to blame somebody. It's not a really good track record, obviously, these two things in this short amount of time, but there's not this history of, oh, here's all these guys that Seth Rollins / Tyler Black has injured over the last 10 years that he's been wrestling. So
he's building that history though.
Well, or he's had a couple of bad luck incidents in the last 2 months when he's been asked to work more than he probably ever worked before, just because of the WWE schedule, on a night where he's wrestling back-to-back main event matches. Here's my big concern, and I wasn't crazy about the Cena Rollins match on Raw Monday night because I'm getting a little bit tired of WWE matches looking like Ring of Honor matches where it's just finisher, and the guys kick out and they kick out. I don't want to sound like the grumpy old man, but there's not a whole hell of a lot of psychology. It's just all of a sudden one of the finishers works.
Yeah.
They've gone back to all of a sudden now the AAA is a protected finisher the last couple weeks. Yeah. He went 6 months without ever pinning anybody after an attitude adjustment, and now it's been his finisher again. Cena, I'm talking about. Yeah. And I think we saw that with the Lesnar Undertaker match. We saw it why are you trying to work a fucking pro wrestling guerrilla style match with a 56-year-old man? Whose idea was that? If it's Rollins, I mean, if Rollins is saying this is the way I work and you better keep up with me, then yeah, somebody needs to pull him aside and say, dude, if you're supposed to be so great, you should be able to adjust your style to different people.
Yeah.
I don't know, but again, I don't know where that doesn't seem like a really Vince thing for me to be pushing. I don't know, maybe Vince doesn't care about the in-ring booking that much anymore. The match construction. Maybe he's more about big picture storytelling, but it's like a shift. I mean, we've seen it in Cena. They've gone to this indie style main event in the last year or so, and
he's an indie guy at this point.
And I mean, I like it on the indies because it's a little different and you don't see it as often. But on WWE, where you get a pay-per-view every month and then you do the same style on Raw, I don't know. See, I feel like they're taking the wrong lessons from the indies in terms of, instead of like building longer term stories, like I was talking about a little bit ago, they're just going with spotty matches and people are getting hurt and it's still not helping the ratings.
I don't know that it's unfair. I don't know that it's fair to put it on Rollins and go, well, it's your fault. I don't know that it's unfair because it's happening. And it's the kind of thing, I've seen people in Cageside on the threads and they're saying, well, yeah, it's an inherently physical thing and we can't ban moves. They ban the curb stomp for other reasons. And, maybe they should ban the buckle bomb. And we can't do that because, I mean, where does it end then? You just going to ban a suplex? The pile drivers, which they actually did do away with. But at the same time, is it accidents happen? But like, did you blame, Owen Hart for breaking Steve Austin's neck?
Right.
Yeah, he's the one who did that. He's the one who decided he wanted to do it. And if you believe Austin, he said he didn't want to go through with it, and then his head's way too low, and he did it anyway, and he spiked his head, and that's he broke his neck, and ultimately changed his quality of life for the rest of his life. You're the guy. Like, it feels a bit to me like, you're the quarterback of a football team. This is on you. And I understand it's a physical thing, but again, like Brett says, and he talks about that constantly, where it's like the thing he's most proud of is he's never injured anybody.
Yeah.
And if you need to do the buckle bombs or you need to do the spots like that, then there's a problem. And there's guys who would say that. There's wrestlers who would say that. If you need to do a spot where you're pushing them through the Spanish announce desk, then you already failed because the psychology of the match shouldn't need that much.
Right.
It's like Austin. I remember Austin. We did a retro live blog for Austin Vince at St. Valentine's Day Massacre in 1999. And Austin didn't like that Vince wanted to do the spot where he hit him off the cage and he went through the table.
Mm-hmm.
And he broke his coccyx. And he goes, well, we didn't need that. He didn't need to do shit like that. I'm over. It couldn't get more over than Steve Austin in February of 99. He go, well, we don't need this, dude. I just beat you up and hit you with a stunner, and fuck, everyone's going to love everything. We don't need to have you going through a table, especially off a cage like that. And sure enough, you're too old for this shit. And sure enough, he broke a bone.
Well, maybe that's a good point. I mean, I said before, I don't know how much Vince cares about, like, agenting a match, but maybe he does, because Vince is always one who goes too far with that shit.
Well, I'm not even saying that it's a Vince thing.
Well, I'm just saying I was thinking that maybe Vince isn't that involved in the decision making behind how those matches are constructed. But your point brings up to me that I'm not saying he's pushing it, but I could see, totally speculating, but I could see him not being against it based on his own history in the ring.
I don't understand why there wasn't someone who, again, why do you need that? I don't understand why. And he's old, so and the TMZ thing said. Or maybe even it was his manager said he was hurt multiple times throughout the match. Like, it got worse and worse as time went along. So by the time you got to the buckle bomb, it wasn't just, here's the big spot, right? Which, that's fine if that's how you want to lay the match out. And we can't sit here and, they would probably bitch and say, well, what does Sean and Geno know about laying a match out?
Right.
I'm not saying I know anything, but I also know that you fucked up if one of the participants, there's a question regarding how much he can fully recover in his daily life because of how you laid this match out. I know enough to know you fucked up then. That's a problem. I don't need to be an expert on bumping to know that that's an issue. Like, That dude's, like I said, it was horrifying to watch his legs collapse. He was gone. Like the dude was just gone at that point. And so that is a mistake. And if the psychology of the match is good, you don't need spots like that. You don't need to put someone through a table. And that's the changing business being what it is. And, to get to the Attitude Era where everyone's just trying to one up everyone else and they're going through 5 tables from a huge ladder and flying out of the ring. And then it just, I hate to go Jim Cornette here, but that kind of stuff helped destroy what people could do. So that you need to do stuff like that to keep people invested in a match because they're not invested enough already. And that's, it leads to 56-year-old Sting. His career's probably over, and it goes out on a loss to Seth Rollins at Night of Champions. That don't feel good.
Yeah. I mean, it's not, like I said, I think somebody at WWE probably isn't doing enough to protect everybody involved because they should. Because I'm sure Sting is the one who, according to his manager, was like, finish the match no matter what.
Yeah, we're gonna finish.
They sped it up, but
they went right to it.
Yeah, but he made sure that he still was in there.
Yeah.
So somebody should protect all these guys and say, no, you know what, we don't need to do this. And that's what I was getting at earlier. I think. Is if you, and I don't want to lean on they should do it like NXT, but the NXT or Lucha Underground also did this, where if you're telling a long form story, that's what makes people care. And that's what, they're doing these spot heavy matches and ratings are still in the toilet. So that's not translating into new viewers. And people like Vince Russo and others agree with him that wrestling is not what sells. So why is the focus on doing more spots, doing more big spots in your main event matches instead of taking the time, telling a longer story that will cause people to tune in and week out, make sure that something develops every week so you don't want to miss Raw. Because I'm not worried about missing Raw because of a great match because I can always pull up a great match.
Yeah.
I can, and there's a million great matches going on around the world these days. So tell a longer form story that makes me care, and then that also will make it so you don't have to construct these crazy ass matches because we'll have personal skin in the game. It won't be just ho hum Seth against whoever again.
Mm-hmm. There's 3 tiers to wrestling, and at least in my mind, the story, the star, and the match. Of those 3, what's the least important?
The match.
It's funny enough. Pro wrestling, and the whole thing is supposed to be the matches. That's the least important. Now, within the context of the other 2, it's the most important because it's what pays everything off.
Right.
But if you don't have the first 2, the match doesn't mean a fucking thing, which is what we've seen for years now. They don't have the stars. They don't have anyone to make you care about a star can help you care about a story, or a story can help you care about a star, and in turn you care about the match. Now, what they do is there's no star, there's no story, and they have people out there doing the match where let's do the high spots and hopefully people care. You say, well, what can they do to prevent it? You cannot book a 56-year-old man in the main event of your pay-per-view challenging for a title when no one wanted this except me, the Sting nostalgia people. And I know you're laughing at me, but,
it wasn't just you, but yeah,
right, but I wanted the nostalgia, and they didn't give me that. They gave me the Joker Sting who was in TNA, who they don't, in their minds, doesn't exist because TNA doesn't exist. They gave me a dude who stole something that didn't belong to him and then destroyed it, and we saw how much work went into building it. So I don't know how that doesn't turn his ass heel to begin with. And it was all to put Triple H over. And to help build to a Rollins Triple H match. So it's just like... And I just don't even understand the idea behind doing it. And he's a 56-year-old man. You don't need to be doing this. What you need to do is you need to bring up Kevin Owens, and you need to have him beat John Cena, and everyone's shocked. And then you know what you do in that situation? This is crazy. You have him beat John Cena again. And then you move him away. And then Cena does something else. And I understand we can't do that. We can't beat John. He's our big star, and we just can't do that. But if he's your big star, why is he holding the U.S. title?
And if he's your big star, he should be able to absorb a loss like that and keep on going.
Exactly.
Which he can. In reality, he can.
These
fans aren't going to stop following Cena because he lost to Kevin Owens twice.
It's story, star. So he can lose the match if you have the right story. And he's absolutely the right star. What's the problem? And then at the same time, you go, okay, well, you can't beat him. And that's part of why he's your star, which tells you what? People need to win. Which gets us to our next problem, which was really evident on this show, on Raw. 50-50 booking.
Yep.
It's got to stop. They had the Cosmic Wasteland, and this is the lowest level of the fucking totem pole in WWE. Cosmic Wasteland versus Neville and Lucha Dragons. They ran it on Night of Champions. Cosmic Wasteland won the match, as should happen. They're the heel group. They just started. You need to get them some wins. You need to build them up, and then you need to beat the babyfaces to get them some sympathy so you can build them back up to overthrow the heels, right? That's simple. That's storytelling. It's good. Easy story. It's worked for years. Well, what'd they do? The very next night on Raw, Neville and Lucha Dragons pinned them clean. What? How does this... You know what you did there? That everything I saw the night before didn't mean a fucking thing. And what I saw tonight didn't mean a thing. Again, star story match. All you did was match, and none of it meant anything because, well, now it's 1-1. This isn't a sporting event where you can just get invested in that itself. I will never be invested in the match itself, who wins and loses, just because of the match itself and who I want to win or lose. I'm not that kind of fan anymore. I don't know that kind of fan even really exists that much anymore. Huh?
Unless it's Sting.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's not even, there's no story there. There's very little character. Neville and Lucha Dragons don't have characters that I know of.
No.
The Ascension don't really. Stardust kind of, if you follow YouTube, but not if you just watch TV.
Or Twitter. Twitter's where they tell their stories.
Well, and that's where I think the reins are off the performers a lot more, and that's why it's so much more interesting.
Yeah, what do you know? The Lana, Rusev, Summer Rae, Dolph thing is way better on Twitter because it's just them. The Raw backstage fallout stuff.
Yeah.
It's a little weird. Ziggler's a scumbag. I mean, there's no questioning that. And now it's what the Total Divas story, by the way. Next week on Total Divas, Dolph tries to steal Nikki back from Cena, and Dolph and Nikki used to date with the promise of kids and marriage. And his delivery, even when he's just talking normally, is so rushed and weird. Like, we talk shit about the Bellas delivery. Dolph's might be even worse. I can give you kids. I can give you marriage. I can give you all these things. It's too bad. I'm too good. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, you just fucking talk like a normal human being for once. But that's the story now. So while that's happening, he's on TV.
Maybe he'll put her picture on his dick.
Yeah. While that's happening, he's on TV. We're supposed to cheer him because he is doing what he's doing with Lana while giving Summer gifts. Also scumbag, man.
Yep. He is. He's a douche.
I mean, there's nothing wrong there's nothing inherently wrong with, having relationships with people. It's not bad that he's pursuing relationships with women. That's not a bad thing, right? It's how he is about it. It's right. You beat up Rusev, you do the thing with Rusev, and then you flaunt it in his face, and you put her crotch on your your jeans or your gear while you're in a match with him. Playing the games with Summer, that's not a pursuit, it's playing the games. And this is all kayfabe, of course. I hope everyone knows that. I'm not actually thinking this. And then now with Nikki, where it's like she's with John, you know what I mean? Just very clearly, you're just fucking things up, rocking a boat that you shouldn't be rocking. So it's, again, he's not just like talking to people. He's deliberately being a dickhead in every way imaginable to everyone imaginable. So and again, why? Imagine cheering for Dolph Ziggler in 2015.
Well, I feel like they never really changed his. Well, I guess that's not true. At Survivor Series last year, they actually tried to make it. In that period, they were trying to make him a real babyface.
He was a plucky underdog, and he knew it.
Other than that, even from the time he got turned because he was cheered at Smarkamania. That's why he got turned. Yeah. Because people went ape shit. Because he used to be the guy that everybody. He was our avatar. He was the guy that was kept down by the machine. Yeah. And so when he finally broke through, people went crazy, and that was always the only reason they turned him face.
And then people realized really quickly, wow, the machine might have been right on this one.
Well, it's the same thing. It's like Zack Ryder too. I mean, it's like people were like, "Oh yeah, I'm all for Zack Ryder," and then Yeah, no.
Oh,
but
shit. I don't really
people
like
are
this
still
guy.
fighting for Zack Ryder.
No, they're not. That's the thing, guys. Sometimes the machine is abso-fucking-lutely right.
Right.
I'm sorry.
So,
It's like Ryder, and that's why guys like that were getting over it, because it was just like they're telling us
counterculture. Yeah.
don't you tell me I don't like this. I'll like the hell out of it. And it's like, all right, here. Now I like it a lot. Well, I don't like it that much. I mean,
I don't really want to like it like that. I didn't mean like that.
Wait, Ryder and Kane on paper? No, I can't deal with this shit. Like, well, that's what happens to people who get over in this company. They fucking work Kane on the next pay-per-view.
That's right.
Like that.
They get dragged to hell.
That's this company. Oh, what? They're over Kane on the next pay-per-view. That is just fucking horrible.
Yep.
Man. All right.
So, yeah. So, speaking of Kane.
We already talked about Kane. Do we have to keep talking about it? Dragging people to hell and... What do you think of that? Are you okay with it? A lot of people love the campy shit.
I don't know, man. It's got its place, but I don't feel like WWE is really its place anymore. I mean, we built all these other angles around this reality era stuff with the Authority and, Seth getting Triple H's approval is more important than the fucking WWE title. But then I'm supposed to suspend disbelief in the same story for somebody to be dragged under the ring.
By the way, is Seth a mix of 2000 Triple H and 2004 Triple H?
Well, Triple H never would have. I guess
2000 Triple H was fucking unreal in the ring. That dude, before he got his leg injury, the quad thing, he was. Oh man, I would put it up against anybody. He was one of the best workers there is. And then 2004 Triple H was unbearable because of the long promos, and you didn't want to see anything he did other than his wrestling. And then even the wrestling was problematic at a point. So is that who Seth Rollins has become?
I guess, but I mean, did Triple H? Did Triple H lose as much as Seth does?
Well, no, but he was a different kind of heel. I mean,
Rollins. So we're about to get. I mean, that's what we're about to get. Rollins Cena again at Madison Square Garden in a cell.
That's a house show.
But still, it's on the network and it's for the U.S. title. And
it's still a house show. We have to. It's how we talk about it.
No,
we can't buy into their hype.
Well, they're talking about it on Raw. Big Show got a promo to build up that match.
Well, yeah, because they have to, because it's a special or whatever. But I didn't have a problem with that.
It's you're showing a big chunk of your audience. You're showing the WWE champ lose to the United States champion a ton of times in a row. If we're gonna freak out about Kevin Owens losing to Cena twice, we should freak out about this, because Rollins' only win over Cena is when Jon Stewart interfered, right? Other than that, Cena owns him.
Okay. I agree. Yeah, I agree with this one kind of actually, because I'm not going to be the person who's like, well, he needs to win. No, he doesn't. He's a heel. He's a heel champ. He could get beat and never lose his title. And if that's what you're trying to say, that's fine. That works for me. He loses constantly, but he still acts like he's the best, and he's still the champion, so it just pisses you off even more. Again, that works just fine. I mean, that's what they're going for. But as far as Rollins Cena goes, that doesn't work anymore because it's not about the U.S. title now, right? I mean, they did that program. That should be done now. This is just what we're talking about, where it's just match. And they have fine matches. The matches are exciting. I mean, I know you're not a huge fan.
They're the same one over and over again.
That's true, but it works. I mean, it doesn't.
Well, but we talk about wins and losses mattering, and we talk about them not making new stars, and it's no coincidence that the people who are over. I mean, we've talked about this before. When Ryback got huge all of a sudden in whatever that was, the fall of 2013, it was because he won all the fucking time.
He was winning.
That's a shorthand especially for casual fans. Like, this is a guy you should watch and pay attention to.
Yeah.
And if they tune in and they watch Seth Rollins get pinned clean a lot by John Cena, that tells them this is not a guy I need to take seriously.
Well, right, Ryback was.
He's got.
Well, right, but Ryback wasn't the heel who was champ for a long time. Actually, that was Punk, and Ryback was the babyface. Right. That's the point. You build up the.
Well, Ryback got shoved into that Punk feud. I don't even think that was the plan. That was when Punk got hurt, and who else got hurt? Cena got hurt.
That's true. Cena was hurt that year. That's why Ryback was there. But that's the thing that we talk about. With a guy like Rollins to be what he is as the heel champion that he is, who loses all the time, you need a strong babyface. You need a good babyface to oppose this. They don't have that. They're actually going with Kane in that spot. And I don't know that Kane's even a babyface. They're finishing up a story, and at least there's that, and they're trying to wrap that up, and there's some continuity and storyline and all this and whatever. But I don't. No one cares. You
But
can't care
they're
about it.
not rapid. It's like I said, this is my problem with the campy stuff, is that it's such a shift in tone. The story they've been telling with Kane all along is that Kane was not on board with Rollins' push from the Authority. So Kane, as the corporate guy, thought that he needed to be taught a lesson. And instead of it, and that's where I thought it was hilarious and smart at the beginning of Raw when he was in the corporate smiley, really creepy mode, like creeping Seth out and creeping us out. That they could have gone that way, maybe with the figment of imagination stuff that they toyed with for a second and then got rid of.
That could have been fun.
But instead, we're right back to he's a demon from hell. It's a different story than what they've been telling. They're not paying off the long-term Authority story, who should be trusted by Triple H and Stephanie or who deserves what. They're going to this.
Well, he's still corporate Kane, though, and he's still doing bidding for the Authority. And then SmackDown, spoiler alert, I mean, he books the show on SmackDown, and it's about Kane and Rollins again on SmackDown. It's still essentially infighting within the heel group who runs the show. How's that interesting for anybody?
Right.
It's two heels who are bickering and have been bickering for fucking months. And I'm just so tired and fed up with it. Bickering is not an interesting thing. I think it was somebody from Voices of Wrestling. I'm sorry to whoever it is, I can't remember their name, who said, the problem we have in WWE right now, and this is the perfect way to say it, is we badly want Seth Rollins to lose the title. But there's no one we badly want to win it. There's not. There's no one that you can sit there and say, oh, my God, I want them to win the title so bad. Yeah, I can remember.
No, but there's one person, if they tell the right story, that I can think of.
Who?
Dean Ambrose. Remember the fucking pop when they did the Dusty finish with him? Oh, yeah,
sure,
dude.
But where he is now, no way. Like
they'd have to get it back, but
yeah, it'd be a long project, and they'd have to actually get off.
I don't think it would have to be that long. I think it would have to be like a couple of months. I mean, for them, is long.
That's a long project. I mean, the ratings they need something now.
But I don't think there's that quick fix, though. I mean, if they're going to fix the ratings and change the trend, I mean, look at how the reason that Lucha Underground got over with people, and it was like when it started, people were like, "Oh, what's the fuck?"
Not that over.
Well, but it got over with the hardcores. I'm just saying.
Sure.
But even at the beginning of that, the hardcore folks weren't that into it. It was like a few people watching. It was like, oh, it was a LOL TNA thing. People were ready to shit on it.
Mm-hmm.
But they realized what it was doing, and it picked up steam. Now imagine if you got that kind of buzz going about WWE with its reach. That's how you get back to 4 million viewers a week.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to just book all of a sudden, bring Sting back, bring Taker back, and then all of a sudden it's going to fix anything. Because everybody's been educated to know that those guys aren't sticking around.
Or if you're bringing
those guys, even tell a long story with Brock.
Or if they're bringing those guys back, then they need to. Well, they're actually telling the long story with Brock and Undertaker, and that's not a bad thing.
It's not a you need to tune in week after week. It's
not.
Tune in once every 2 months.
But the way you use those guys it's a bit of what it's. Consider this: the UFC's they booked Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holm for 193, I think it is, in Melbourne, Australia.
Yeah.
You know what they put in the co-main event?
No.
I'm gonna botch the fuck out of this. I think her name's Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Oh, the Polish strawweight champ.
And that chick is a fucking badass, right? She's great. She's a great fighter. She's got some weird charisma to her and all these things. Nobody knows who she is. Yep. Why do you change that? You put her with the people who are known for show that everybody's gonna watch. Yep. WWE's not doing this. You know what they're putting underneath Brock Taker? Kane Rollins. Again, this is what people go, well, what's the problem? You don't need to rely on it to sell. No, you don't. But if you're going to use Brock Taker, then you need to be building up other people who can take their place, because Taker's going to be done soon too. Because, again, Sting's getting hurt with Rollins. Taker's going to get hurt. It's a Hell in a Cell match.
He's already been hurt by Lesnar once.
He's always hurt.
Last time, yeah.
He goes for a walk and comes home with a concussion. And look, I'm not trying to make fun of the guy. He's ancient and he's been beat up, man.
He's been doing one of the most dangerous jobs in the world for 30 years. Yeah.
Dave Meltzer talks about this constantly, where he's like, it's so funny because in 1997, people were telling Meltzer, this dude's hurt. He's fucked. He don't have much left. It's 2015. He's still headlining shows. So again, the issue is, well, okay, we got Rousey home. That's going to sell out a stadium. We're going to break records for how many people are at the actual show itself. And then huge pay-per-view buys because Rousey's such a big star. Well, you make people underneath that. That's that's what you do. You know what I mean? So it's just, I don't know. But we don't have anybody. I hate to, we always use Steve Austin because it's Steve Austin and, he's the biggest star ever. But, man, I remember when he was coming up, you were dying for him to win. It was the entire Royal Rumble was built around Steve Austin and him, what he was going to do within the Royal Rumble. And everyone knew he was going to win. And it wasn't like Roman Reigns. It wasn't, let's reject him because he's going to win. And we don't want that. It was, how are they going to do it? I don't care. We're going to make it happen. Yeah. Holy shit, Steve Austin. And he better win at WrestleMania or I'll fucking riot. And then he wins at WrestleMania. And it's just building obstacles in his way. It's not about getting the heel over. It shouldn't ever be about getting the heel over. Why is it that all the story is Rollins and getting him over and making sure that he looks good? And they brought in Sting just to make the heel look good when you're also booking him to lose a bunch of matches, including a match on the same night that he would beat Sting to retain the title. So he's got to look good, but we're making him look bad because we're beating him all the time. And they're at the same time not building up anyone as the babyface who you need to make look good and put obstacles in his way to take the title from the guy who you're beating all the time. What the fucking world am I even saying at this point? Because this is what they're doing. Like, I just don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah. I mean, they did it.
Shit.
Well, it's like you said. I mean, and you remind me because the guy that they backed into telling that story with was Daniel Bryan.
Yes.
And for 2 straight Royal Rumbles, when they could have had that moment where if you would have booked him in the match, everybody would have said he's going to win, and I just want to see how, and I'm still going to cheer I'm going to go crazy. They booked him to either, one, not be in the match the first time, and then the second time to get thrown out in a weird spot that just ruined everything for everybody.
Yeah.
So they don't, I mean, yes, is Brian Stone Cold? No, he's not at all, but he's the closest thing you've come to.
If the people are asking for it, give it to them.
Yeah.
Here's the question.
They haven't, I mean, I don't know, but like you said, I don't know who the baby face is. I mean, I think you can get Ambrose there.
Who are the people asking for right now?
You could get Ambrose there pretty quickly.
No.
They did it last summer.
I know, I understand that, and I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Who are the people asking for right now? No one.
Yeah, I mean,
no one.
But they haven't.
That's the problem.
No I mean, because every babyface has been positioned behind John Cena.
That's right.
Right?
That's the problem.
I mean,
who are the big babyfaces on the roster? Roman Reigns. And I'll tell you what, they're doing a good job of not getting him booed. They put him back with Ambrose, and I understand what they're doing there, and I appreciate what they're doing there, and I don't think it's wrong necessarily. And they started the Jericho thing, which whenever that's going to pick back up, I'm guessing at the Garden show, perhaps, or no, he's working.
He's working with Owens at the Garden show.
I guess they have a plan.
They're not even on that card right now. I don't know if they're there or if they might be somewhere else.
Well, again, it's a house show, so it's something that matters.
Yeah, part of the rest. I think they are running another house show somewhere else, as they usually do on a Saturday night. So
right.
Half the roster's not going to be there.
Right, but Ambrose, who's in the position that he's in, like we said, there's no way that. I mean, they tried the thing where they just put him in the main event with Seth, and the matches were good, but they didn't exactly, it didn't turn.
Nobody thought that he was going to win. So
right, yeah. Again, booking's not there, and then. Who are the other baby faces? I'm struggling to come up with names.
Cesaro's one, but I mean,
Ryback, Cesaro.
There's a certain segment of the audience that would go crazy for Cesaro, but not the masses. And Vince he obviously hasn't changed anybody's mind in the back, or he wouldn't be jobbing to Big Show so that he could get ready for a house show. So,
well, I actually like the idea behind what they were doing there. I mean, the psychology there was actually really good. Cesaro's a really strong guy.
Yeah,
strong man, and Big Show's getting ready for the ultimate strong man. And Cesaro shows his impressive display of strength with a snap suplex on fucking Big Show, which is actually an insane thing.
Yeah.
And then Big Show gets up and knocks him out and pins him anyway. People bitch because it's their guy that they want to have happen and all this and that and whatever. But that's a good thing. You still want to see him win even after this loss, and they needed to build up Big Show. I mean, I felt like they did that totally right.
I guess I feel like they had reached a point where Cesaro was starting to get over with more people with the Cena Owens stuff this summer. He was the guy that came out of that looking great, and they immediately went back to booking him to lose a lot afterwards. Which I'm not here screaming burial or anything like that, but we were just talking about how if you let a guy win, that's how you get more organic support for him, especially as a babyface. And here's a case where they had it and they immediately backed off of it.
It's the stop-start stuff.
Yeah.
And it's never gonna. Yeah,
I mean,
it's never.
Cesaro, that's his career the last 3 years at least. His start. And
there are no other baby faces after that.
I mean, Ziggler's a baby face, right?
No.
I mean, he's a horrible one, but
turn Rusev.
I mean, that guy.
Turn Rusev.
How long can they go? Since it's amazing we went this long without talking about it.
Yeah,
we're gonna wrap up soon.
We're gonna wrap up.
How long can they go before they have to turn New Day face?
I hope never, because I don't know how. I was wondering. I was watching something they were doing the other day. One of the backstage, the dunking on someone, and then Xavier and Big E pick up Kofi, and he they walk away with him, and he's got this look on his face. And I was going, how did they get clearance to do this kind of shit? How great is this? And I don't know, Vince McMahon signs off on it. And so this is awesome. How long before they turn the face? I don't know. I
mean, because that's one thing you read around, and even I know the trombone story I posted, and I think there were some comments underneath the, the Rue Day post that you did, where people were like, yeah, this is great, but they're supposed to be heels, and they're too entertaining, and it's sort of an old school complaint, but I get where people are coming from. I mean,
I don't, because just because you like them doesn't mean they're not heels, and doesn't mean they're not acting like heels.
But you don't want to see them lose necessarily.
I
mean, like you said, you're not even invested in them having a match. You just
they don't have great matches.
Stick.
They don't have great matches. Dispute that. You can't. They
don't. I'm not arguing
with
you. I'm saying, I mean, I think that's sort of the same point. That it's at this point, they're like a. I don't want to. I mean, Sideshow makes it sound demeaning, and I don't mean it that way. But they're not like a wrestling act. We love them because
Xavier Woods is more over than the wrestling going on in the ring, and then Summer's out there and they're working the trombone together. We're going, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. It's got nothing to do with the matches themselves. They don't build to matches. Like people, I saw someone say they're better. They're almost to a point where they're better than the Shield. Get the fuck out of here, because the Shield put on. There was never a bad Shield match. No. Like, they tore the house down every fucking time, dude. That's why we loved them so much. That's why it was such a big.
That's why they got turned. Yeah.
Yeah, and they had a great story. They had stars, and they had the matches and booking that all went in. They had all three of the components we talk about. Yeah, the New Day doesn't have that. They don't have great matches. I can't think of one great New Day. I can't even think of one particularly memorable.
They've had fun. I mean, I think they're the Fatal Four-Way. It's not a Fatal Four-Way, but the four-way that they had was it SummerSlam? Was that where that was?
You don't even remember.
They've had some fun matches. I will put it. That's what I would say, but not. Yeah.
I mean, fun matches happen on SmackDown too. I mean, it's not like you can have a fun match, whatever. I'm just saying they don't. The Shield. Again, the Shield, every fucking Shield match.
But the match is the least important thing, right? So if the New Day,
but they don't have either of the other.
The problem with they have the stars. I think they're becoming stars. They're over as fucking.
They're getting there, yeah. They're getting there, yeah.
They don't have a story though.
They don't have a story at all. Well, they have saved the tables, but their stuff is gimmicky. It's not the shit that works on a large scale. Like the Save the Tables campaign is not gonna. That gets over to us. We think it's cute as shit, and it'll get over in an arena. But I don't know that it's gonna sell pay-per-views. You don't sell pay-per-views with a Save the Tables campaign. That's the big issue with those guys.
They pop a social media score probably with that stuff.
Yeah,
which is part of what I was talking about at the beginning. And it's not all ratings. There's other.
They have a place. They have a place, but they're not the big stars.
But yeah, it would be. I don't know. I would love to. Yeah, like I said, I'd like to see him turn Rusev face. I don't know.
Yeah, Rusev needs to turn babyface now and push him, and don't stop pushing him. Put him back with Lana, have him reunite, and then push him to the fucking moon and see what happens. He's an outstanding. Everything they've ever given him, he's done the most with.
Yep.
And he's a really good wrestler, and he's got that charisma to him, man. And with Lana with him.
My only concern about putting Lana back with him is Summer Rae is really fucking good at this job.
I'm gonna miss Summer.
She was great at this on NXT when she was like the leader. She was always the worst women's wrestler on NXT too, but she was the leader of the BFFs, and she was so fucking good. Everything she did was entertaining, and she's finally getting a chance to do that again after all those. I mean, she even did some entertaining stuff in that Fandango bullshit she got stuck in.
Yeah,
but I don't want her to go back into oblivion. I put her with Dolph when they. I mean, flip everybody in this bullshit.
No, Dad, don't put anyone with Dolph. Just get Dolph out of there.
They just signed Dolph to a new contract. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, he's fine bumping around and stuff, but I don't know. I've seen enough of Dolph at this point to last a lifetime.
I was never a huge fan, but
he's not the guy either. He's not the big star either. And
no.
A lot of people think that he could be, but I just don't see it. I just don't. And
his promos aren't good enough. He doesn't.
No.
And for some reason, for a guy who's like a stand-up comedian in his spare time, he just put him out there with a live mic, and
his delivery's atrocious. I mean, there's a certain way you need to speak to a group of people, and Roman Reigns is still trying to get it down. And some people have it and some people don't. John Cena, for all his faults and all the things that people say about him, John Cena is the pro wrestler in WWE. He knows how to not only deliver the promo, but how to cater to the audience. He knows how to work the audience. That's what a good worker is.
And he knows how to respond to the audience even when they don't respond the way he wants to.
That's right. Within his matches, he can call the audibles in his matches. He can call the audibles in his promos. Like the infamous Seattle promo where they were chanting for Bryan, and he turned it around. He acknowledged it, figured out a way to get it out of your system. Now back to us in this match that I'm trying to sell. Yep. Not a lot of guys can do that, or are given the opportunity to do that. Is true.
It's chicken and the egg.
It's worth mentioning. Yeah. So, I don't know. What else happened on Raw that's noteworthy at all? I don't think anything.
I don't know. Kevin Owens is fucking phenomenal on commentary.
He's the Intercontinental champ. He's a great commentator.
He's the IC champ. Paige, the Paige bomb. We totally didn't.
Oh, we didn't talk at all. Wow, we didn't talk divas at all after the biggest divas thing that all the time we've spent on them.
Well,
finally a big divas thing. Important. All right, let's go out on that then, real quick.
All right.
What did you think of it?
I thought it was a good promo. I didn't think it was a great promo.
Why?
It was.
That is the key.
You just love my exasperated expressions.
I do.
That's what you love me for.
Well, you're cute as shit, but when you get exasperated, I just want to hug your face.
Oh, thanks, man. It was. It wasn't. Paige's. I just didn't think it was. It was expected. It was. It didn't really cover any new ground. It was exactly what everybody's been saying about everybody, which is fine. But I don't think that in 10 years we'll look back on it. We'll look back at it on an important point in like the evolution of women's wrestling, either because it marked a change or it didn't. But I don't think we're going to go back and say, I want to listen to that promo again, like a bunch of others.
Mick Foley shared our post on it on Facebook.
I saw that. Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, well, is he booking the damn Divas division? Because he even said Paige heel turn.
I mean, the Paige heel turn was kind of telegraphed. I mean, I think that's part of it. I mean, like I said, it was good. I'm not shitting on it at all. I just don't think it was like this epic, transcendent promo or anything.
I didn't like Charlotte's response.
I don't like Charlotte as a babyface. She's
I don't like Charlotte
miscast. At all. She could be all right as a heel, but she's really miscast as the babyface leader of the women.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of her promos. I don't like the woo gimmick. I don't like the chops. I don't. The chops are weird when it. I don't know. I guess
she has the worst fear in the business.
Is that sexist to me, Sean? That the chops seem weird when you're chopping women?
No, because here's something. This is really a weird transition, but I was watching the GIFs of, and I'm going to call them GIFs of Total Divas.
Okay.
In Enhanced Stocks recap, and when Nikki pushes Brie into the water, she totally just shoves her right on her boobs.
Her boobs. You're a 40-year-old man, dude. You can say the word. Breasts, tits, boobs are for 5-year-olds.
All right. She shoves her right in the tits, and that's weird to me. And I think it's the same thing. It's weird when you're chopping somebody in the tits. Right?
Well, she's chopping them above the tits, so it's like you're damn near just chin checking them. Yeah. And I don't. It just seems. I don't know. It seems like doesn't seem that effective.
No.
Because I mean, if you're just hitting, it's just not. There's.
I don't know. She can't woo right.
The woo's weird. I just don't see. I don't see it. I see Ric Flair's daughter. Because that's what they make me see.
That's all they want you to see.
That's what they make me see. Yeah, but I don't see. Yeah.
And some weird like wedding vows promo where she almost proposed to Becky Lynch on television.
Wow, yeah. But I will say, though, that it was good to see that while Paige was running everybody down, who did the crowd react to the most when she shit on them?
Yep.
Becky Lynch.
Well, we were talking about that last week. We've
been on it, man. We've been on it, and the crowd is on it. And she said, "Team bad, they're all flash and no substance," and no one reacted. You're just Ric Flair's daughter.
They're hiding Sasha.
Well, I don't. I mean, Team Bad's they're heels too.
And
she's
got a 30-minute Iron Woman match coming up. So
yeah. Well, and they're also heels, and it's not like they can whatever. But yeah, I just thought it was cool that that she bagged on Lana, on Lana as she called her, Lana and Summer Rae. I was like, who's Lana? Lana and Summer Rae. The Bellows, Alicia Fox, she bagged on everybody, but the crowd didn't really go, oh, hey, wait a fucking minute, until she called Becky Lynch irrelevant.
Yep.
Which I thought was really cool. It's good to see. And hopefully they saw that and heard that and recognized that Becky Lynch is an extremely likable person. Again, I was talking to somebody and they're like, why do you like Becky Lynch so much? I said, I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know.
It's just like it's a very Daniel Bryan kind of charisma. She's sort of awkward with the puns stuff all the time.
Oh, it's so awkward. Some of it's outright stupid.
She's adorable. I mean,
let's be real.
Yeah. Oh, if you were Corey Graves, there was a running gimmick where Corey Graves would just like tear into her on commentary whenever she wrestled in NXT, and I always agreed with him because I find the pun thing, I hate it. It's stupid. But she sticks with it, and it becomes so bad that you flip back over and you think it's cute.
Almost, yeah. Let's be real. The goggles are kind of dumb.
Oh yeah.
The puns are monumentally stupid at times. Sometimes they're cute, but like I said, and that's the kind of thing we talk about having an it factor and star power and stuff. There's just something about her, man. Yeah. I just like her, and she's a really good wrestler too.
With the main roster hasn't even seen that much of. They've seen a few. They've had a few opportunities, but.
Suplexing motherfuckers and throwing them around. Right. So yeah, that'd be great. Hopefully they build on that. But the Paige promo, yeah, that was good because it was a promo that people can get behind, and it did a lot of hits for us. I mean, people were interested, and it's the kind of thing that you get people interested, and then you bring them in, and you tell a good story after that. But it
all depends on what they do next. Yeah, it's just like everything else with this. We gotta not get. It's just like when they introduced Charlotte and Becky and Sasha on Raw, that's not the payoff. Great. It's a great moment, but we got to see what they do afterwards. The good thing is that they seem to Natty played a babyface. Paige is staying in a heel character. Nikki's been in a heel character for like a week now, consistently.
Yeah.
So they've broken up one of the factions. I hope they don't just stick Natty in with Charlotte and Becky because I think I'd like to transition. That way, doesn't it? I know. I'd like to get away from the faction stuff, but.
I think they're scared too because it means they'd have to book more women's segments with that. Because then what happens when they do break them up? Who gets the time? Because you usually get 1 or 2 matches. And with the men, you get 6, 7 matches. If they break them up, you got all these women on this roster. How are you going to use them? Now you're actually going to have to employ stories for let's say 3 different women's stories.
Yeah, I know.
Involving, oh my God, how do we do this? This isn't going to draw. No one's going to care. We can't devote this many segments to it.
It's almost like you don't have a 3-hour show every Monday night, a 2-hour show every Thursday night, and 2 1-hour shows that show on your network or whatever.
I know, right? It's like they don't have time for it. They got to get John Cena his wins. Oh man, I went there with it.
That's where we always have
Cena's the star. So real quick, last thing before we go. What would you do? What would you do to change ratings right now? I'd put the belt on Cena. Yeah, I'm that guy. I would just fuck it and put the belt on Cena.
With So ignore. So if I can't do my I want to change the way you book things for 3 months and see what happens.
No, right now, panic move. Right now, your panic move is how you change ratings next week. You got Packers Chiefs. You've got a show that no one cares about right now. What do you do?
Well, if I back the fucking Brinks truck up to Brock Lesnar's door and say, "What do you need to show up every Monday?"
Too much. Too much.
They got more out of him than they did on his first contract, so something changed.
Yeah, we're
about to embark. You tell him you don't have to do house shows. I need you to go one place a week. I need you to be there on Monday night. You can half the time you can stand behind Paul and jog, but I need you there.
Yeah. Well, we're about to go on the Brock Lesnar Go to Hell tour, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I know, it's a really weird font they put on that thing.
Yeah, Go to Hell. All right.
It's edgy.
I guess attitude.
Yeah.
All right.
So here's my idea for one of it. So we keep kicking around. We're going to sell Cageside shirts, right?
Yeah, we're gonna sell Cageside shirts.
You know what Geno wants? What do you want? Kick Izzy out of Full Sail or whatever.
And Izzy from Full Sail.
And Izzy from Full Sail.
Someone on Twitter, and I'm getting out of the mentions, but someone on Twitter was like, "Why? If this is your idea,
how dare you?
If this is your idea of a joke, it's a really bad joke. But if it's not a joke, then I'm done with you fuckers. It's clearly a
You're
joke,
a bad
guy.
person.
I was gonna put it on you. I was gonna act like, oh, it's totally Sean.
You still could, right?
Totally Sean tweeting. It's a boss. It's a boss move. He's such a Sasha fan. But yeah, that's my joke idea. There are a couple other ideas I have. Of course, there's got to be a Geno time shirt.
This is it's really old. It's all I don't know. You might not even remember it. Back in the '80s, people wore shirts that say "Frankie say relax."
Oh no, we're not doing that.
Yes, listen, wait for it. It'll say, "Dave say deal with it."